Hello, I'm the isolationist, and I gotta talk about the Giannis trade. Um, I guess the first thing I want to say is get Tyler Hero off of my team. I don't care for what, just get him off the team. Minnesota just got a $33 million trade exception, 1-for-1 swap. I don't care. Wash your hands of it. Um, Call up Detroit. If you could get Ron Holland for a steal, I'm doing backflips. I don't care. Even just Isaiah Stewart, I'd take that. I was kind of rooting for Boston. Um, I bought a Jaylen Brown. I liked the optionality that would give you a bit long term. I have to say, I've obviously understood that he was going to get traded in this offseason, but it's still taken me a second to really process everything. I was really thinking it was going to be Boston. I feel like everything switched the last couple of days, and it was just 100% Boston. Boston's going to do it. Of course, Miami's not going to get the guy. Um, so Giannis is a Miami Heat, and I do have to say, I do think people are underrating that team. I think people underrate Giannis as an offensive engine at this point. His offensive numbers last season was the best they've ever been, and as an individual creator, um, he is just kind of unreal. He is absolutely fantastic. I also think people overrate how much spacing he needs. I don't think he needs spacing any more than like a slashing guard would need spacing. Like I don't think he needs spacing more than Shea needs spacing. I understand that Shea shoots mid rangers, so he doesn't need spacing. But what Giannis does offensively doesn't really like need spacing to be effective. Because what Shea has in tough like perimeter shot making is what Giannis has in like post play and like the diversity in which he gives you as a playmaker. Like he can be an inside playmaker, he can be an outside playmaker. Um, like he's very diverse in what he can do, just everything besides shooting. But he's so good at everything else that he's going to give you such a high floor offensively. And if you look at the past Milwaukee teams that were winning 60 games, that were on pace to win 70 games, that won a championship, those are not deep teams. I mean, those were like four-player deep rosters and a bunch of completely washed guys. I mean, Pat Connaughton was like one of the most important guys of the roster for the entire Giannis era. Like I understand Bobby Portis came in and shoot sometimes, but he was never a particularly good player. Brook Lopez was always wildly overrated as a player. I mean, look at every single playoff series they lost or won. He was awful. He shot awful every time. The spacing he provided was vastly overrated, and honestly, as a spacer, Bam might be better. So I don't even think that's a particular concern. And if people are concerned about like the Davion Mitchell fit, I mean, he fit next to Eric Bledsoe. I think he's going to be fine, and the offense is going to be able to operate at a good enough level um, for the fact that they're going to have a top three defense in the NBA. It's going to be them, um, uh, the Thunder, and San Antonio as the top three defenses, and I would put my life on that. The interior defense, the versatility they're going to have defensively, their paint defense, their rim protection, everything is going to be fantastic. They're going to be able to be switchable. They're going to be able to be big. They're going to have rebounding, just everything defensively. I mean, Davion Mitchell, Andrew Wiggins, Pele, Giannis, and Bam Adebayo is going to be an insane defensive lineup. Um, so I think that team is going to be good. Plus, I think people kind of over exaggerate the lack of flexibility Miami has. I mean, Wiggins is a $30 million expiring contract that's going to have some value. I think they have a mid level um, contract that they can offer so they can go get like someone in free agency if they want to try and take a swing at a Kobe White or someone like that. Who knows? Um, Obviously, they might bring back Powell. That's kind of up in the air right now. They probably do just because he is a good off ball, like movement shooter, spacer kind of guy who can give you a little bit on ball creation in some spots. Like he's not a super consistent like go to guy, but you really don't need that if you have a Giannis and a Bam. I think Bam gets a little bit underrated because he's been overtasked offensively. Like he's not a creator. Um, and a lot of people talking about how like he doesn't get downhill enough, he doesn't get to the line enough. He's like a fake spacer, all of that. I think that gets like wildly exaggerated. I do think he is still a really good offensive player. He's a plus passer for the center position. He's a plus ball handler for the position. He's still quick. He does have some spacing ability. He does have some self creation ability. It's not always consistent, but I mean, especially given what he does at the defensive side of the ball, I think you would absolutely take that. So he's a fantastic player, and honestly, probably the best teammate Giannis has ever had. I mean, there's Dame and there's Chris, but Dame at that point in his career, I guess it's tough to say because the year before he was with the Giannis, he did average 62 on like 65% true shooting. So maybe it was just like a scheme fit where he was used more as like an off ball, like more as just a spacer with Adrian Griffin, and then it was like a weird match issue once Doc got there, where I think like Dame almost needed Marcin like Giannis to be Marcin Gortat, and like he's Giannis. That's just not how you're going to be able to use him. He's like way more diverse offensively. You're going to need to use him in a bunch of different ways and creative ways, and just a constant pick and roll, which is Dame kind of needs. It is a limiting skid issue or will fit issue. So I do think Miami's going to be a good team. I think they'll be a top three seed. Although Miami doesn't always go very hard in the regular season, uh, if they kind of like pussyfoot around in the regular season again, then they'll probably be like a 5 to 6 seed. But I think they'll have a legitimate chance to win the Eastern Conference. I don't know if they would be my favorite. I doubt they'd be my pick going into the season, but I do think they are going to be a really good team. I do think this team would offer some like a tough matchup for New York in a way that like no other team was. I just think Giannis would be a much harder specific matchup issue than anybody they faced in the playoffs. Boston's going to be weird. I mean, there's a bunch of rumors. We have no idea what they're going to do, how to build a roster going forward. So yeah, the Eastern Conference is very much up in the air right now. A lot of people are going to think this is going to be like a nothing team. I think this is going to be a really good team, especially in the regular season. Fantastic defense. Not like the best offense in the NBA, but it's still going to be a good offense because you have Giannis. I would put all of my money on it. So Miami, good trade. They're going to be a good team. It's going to be interesting to see what they do going forward. But at the end of the day, you got Giannis. What it sounds like, what got it over the hump, was that the Heat were refusing to add Jonas to the trade package, and last second they kind of just decided, you want to know what? I don't want him to go to Boston. They're not giving up Hugo. They kept Hugo. Good for them. Hope it was worth it. And so they traded Jonas, Hami Hakas, Khalil Ware, Tyler Hero with the 13th pick, 2 more first-round picks, and a pick swap. A lot of draft capital. I'm interested to see what they do in the draft. Now we can take a mint and it won't completely fuck us over. So I guess that's nice to have a little bit of horse insurance. But I mean, if you're making any roster decisions on the assumption that your GM is going to suck, that's not very good. Clell Ware, I'm kind of feeling he's Christian Wood at this point. I'm not very high. I mean, he could be the guy off the bench depending on what happens with Miles Turner. I mean, Bobby Portis also went to the Heat, which I'm not very high on Bobby Portis, but hopefully Spo can make him not such a dumbass. So Tyler Hero, I expect him to be traded, even if it's for scraps to Detroit for like an Isaiah Stewart and the expiring of Karis LeVert. Um, that would be my assumption. Or maybe uh, they can work. I mean, it doesn't. This trade doesn't get finalized until July 6th, so they would have the ability to make that a three-teamer if Miami wants to trade like Jovic for Duncan Robinson. If Detroit would even be down to do that, I have no idea. Plus, we don't even know if Tyler Hero is going to go to Detroit at this point. Um, Jaime Jaquez, whatever, he's cool. Honestly, I think he'll be a good fit with Taylor Jenkins. He's a good downhill creator, can be a good guy off the bench. Um, I mean, I don't really think like the Bucks are going to be going all out to try to win the finals this season, but I do think that'll help them be a better team. Jackie Jonas, honestly, the guy I wanted the most out of this trade package. He's just an interesting flyer in comparison to the rest of the guys. So yeah, the draft gets a lot more interesting for Milwaukee for sure. I mean, I've already been looking at all the guys, so because I mean this has kind of been expected, and obviously Miami has been a known trade possibility. Um, I mean, and going forward for the Bucks, I mean, looking at the different like draft options and things that they could explore. I mean, I don't know like what position they're going to be in to be able to get any other guards like Mikael Brown, Acuff, Wagler, Fleming. I do not really want Acuff. He would be the last guy I want. I would want Phylon even more than him. I might even want Christian Anderson more than him just for the like the crazy spacing that he would provide. So yeah, I mean they can take a Ment. I hope they don't take a Ment even still. I'm not as low on him as a lot of Bucks fans are. I do think he has very interesting potential. Um, Someone who could be a bit of a spacer, someone who is a good enough movement to be a defender. He needs a lot of work there. He's definitely over enthusiastic to get in that back pedal, and he over pursues, overruns. Is in bad position almost all the time, but he does have length. He does have good movement ability. If he really wants to just lock in and be Jaden McDaniels defensively, I think he probably could. Whether or not he does, like it's probably I'd bet against it. But he's interesting. Kareem Lopez, I just don't want him. Mara, that would be interesting, but with Khalil Ware, and again Miles. There's been some rumors Miles may go to Toronto. See what happens with that. Um, Morez Johnson, I'd be really interested in him coming to Milwaukee now. I mean, we definitely have a need for power forward now because we literally don't have one of the. I guess Jovic is a power forward, but he's the only power forward on the roster. Um, Cam Carr, Braden Burries, very interesting guys that can play a bit of a combo guard, more wing role. That'd be interesting for the Bucks. They still don't have their pick this year and for the next couple of years, so I don't even know how much this is going to change their draft strategy. Like, I don't know if they're going to go for the ceiling play or if they're going to go for what players are best right now. Um, so, like, do they go for like the Ament for the like upside swing, or do they like go for a Yaxel, a Morez, a Mara, a Steinbeck? He's probably gonna be fun, but I'm not like super highest on him. Phylon would be fun. Um, Swain, I know that the Bucks have been rumored to like him. Um, so yeah, overall very interesting. Um, I don't feel great about it. Um, I don't know if there's a way to feel great about it. You can tell I'm wearing a squid hat. I was hoping it was going to make me feel better, maybe put a smile on my face. I have yet to smile since the trade has went down. It's going to be a long season. It's going to be a long couple seasons. Honestly, Bucks fans in general probably feel better that he's going to Miami than Boston. Um, I was rooting for Boston because, like I said, I want that flexibility that Jaylen Brown gives you. Optionality when you're building a team long term is the most important thing. The ability to keep him and try to win now, and trade him at the deadline. You can trade him before the trade even goes through, in like the next few weeks, just to really see what kind of trade market he has. But they went with the Miami trade. I hope it works out fine. But given that our coach or our owner is also the owner of the Browns, I'm not the highest on their future. And Miami is going to be a good team. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Goodbye.